it's me again. I haven't moved, just started a new video because now I'm going to talk about a different film. This one I did actually go and see this evening. It is called The Craft Legacy. If you were a teenage girl in the 90s, hello, I was, you will almost definitely remember a film called The Craft that came out in 1996. And it was a bit of a seminal moment for me. I remember distinctly going to the Odeon on a Saturday night with one of my best friends, Louise, and watched this film about these four young women who form a coven and get all these powers, and we were like, oh my god, we're totally going to be witches. And ridiculously, with this sort of remake slash sequel, The Craft Legacy had exactly the same effect on me, despite the fact that I'm now a 38-year-old mother of two. I saw the trailer for this the other night when I went to see Pixie, and I just, as it started, I was like, this is just The Craft, and then realised that actually it is acknowledging the original film and it is in the same world, I guess. It does tie into the original film, but it centres on a young girl called Lily who moves to a new house and a new town with her mum. Her mum is played by Michelle Monaghan, who's just started a new relationship with a sort of self-help guru played by David Duchovny. So Lily gets uprooted, much the same as Sarah does in the original film, and has to sort of settle into a new school. There's a really awful incident for Lily in her first class on her first day, where her period arrives quite suddenly, and it is very noticeable to the rest of the class, and it's a really awful moment. She's obviously completely shamed, but it brings her to the attention of three women, or two women and one trans woman who are at the school, and they pick up on the fact that they might just have something in common, and that Lily might be what they've been waiting for, which is their fourth, because with this particular branch of witchcraft, if you will, you need four people to call the corners and represent each of the elements and each of the points on the compass, so it's that balance. So Lily does indeed become their fourth. I did actually really like it. Like I say, it put me back in that sort of teenage girl headspace that I haven't occupied for a long time. So there was that nostalgic thing, thinking back to the original film. This also carries a 15 certificate, as the original one did. It's quite nasty in places, not as nasty as the original, I think, personally. I think it had potential. I think it loses its way a bit, which is a shame. The earlier part of the film, which is very much about the four young women and their friendship and the power that comes from that, not just their witchy powers, but the actual power that comes from having women around you who have your back and who lift you up and who, you know, who love you, is a very powerful thing. And later on in the film, that kind of gets lost. There's not as much fun witchy stuff as there was in the original film, although obviously if you've seen the original you'll know that their witchy fun does go badly wrong. There wasn't quite as much of that in this, which again I think is a shame. The four leads were very good. I'm going to be an appalling film critic now and not know any of their names, but I enjoyed their performances. Michelle Monaghan and David Duchovny also very good, very solid. I think if you're a teenage girl watching this now, you will absolutely love it. I like the way it was styled, in that, yes, there are mobile phones glimpsed here and there, but considering the main cast are teenagers, they're not on their tech all the time. And because of the sort of flamboyant, grungy, indie way that the girls dress, they actually end up looking quite 90s, which I really appreciated, because again, it really threw back to the original film, which meant a lot to me because I was a teenage girl in the 90s. So I thought it was quite well styled, it was well shot, it looked good. Like I said, the four young women in the leads were very good. Like I said, I just think it lost its way a little bit, which was a shame because it had real potential, but I can't say I didn't enjoy it. An hour and a half long, nice little trip to the cinema. And as I said in my previous video and videos, cinema means so much to me, and when the lights go down, the screen, obviously curtains don't open anymore, but the screen widens and there's just that moment of anticipation, and like I can't even articulate how I would feel if I didn't get to do that anymore. So if you're worried about going to cinemas, I know we're all worried about the virus, but they really have done a lot to make them feel safe and secure and clean. So if you're thinking about going, then please do go. They're doing a lot of bringbacks. They're showing a lot of older films this weekend. Cinemas are showing classic horrors. My local audience showing Hocus Pocus and Silence of the Lambs. I think it showed Dog Soldiers this week as well. So just if there's that opportunity where there's something you've always wanted to see on the big screen, or you haven't seen on the big screen since it first came out 10, 15 years ago, whatever the film may be, please do go and see it and support cinemas. That's it from me. I will be back soon with more film chat. Like and subscribe if you've enjoyed this. Tell your friends. Maybe they too wish to listen to a Geordie woman in a car at 10 o'clock at night. Who knows? But for now, Katie out.